first story, the WA Circuit Court has adjourned the case of the former head teacher of PM Basic School for allegedly defiling a 10-year-old primary 3 pupil. The man, who is now on transfer to the Tumu United Basic Primary School, was alleged to have had carnal knowledge of a 10-year-old primary 3 pupil at his office and on a table before giving the victim 20 Ghana cedis. There's more in this report filed by Rafik Salam.
The second witness in the alleged defilement case of a 10-year-old former primary 3 pupil of PM Basic School in the Sasala East District took a turn in the WA Circuit Court in Camera. The witness, who is a former patron of PM Basic School Girls Club, told the court that she came to the school one morning in April and was informed by one of the cooks at the school about the whipping of one of the girls of the school. She inquired to know which of the girls was the victim and why she was whipped. The cook disclosed the name of the victim after further questioning. She went to the class of the victim and called her out. The victim told her that she was wrongly beaten for allegedly stealing 20 Ghana cedis. The witness asked her where she got the alleged money from. The victim told her she picked the money on the floor with a close friend. She counseled the victim before asking her to call a friend for further interrogation. It was at that moment that the victim opened up to the witness and made startling revelation that she rather had the 20 Ghana cedis from the head teacher of the school where you got more money. She inquired further why the head teacher gave her the money. The victim told the witness that the head teacher in this case, the accused person, called her to the office, kept her on a table, have carnal knowledge of her before giving her the 20 Ghana cedis. The witness told the court that she invited a colleague female teacher to come and listen to the victim. In the presence of the colleague teacher, the victim did not mince words, according to the witness, as he repeated same words. Lawyer for the accused person, Luwanga Bagoluru, cross-examining the witness, suggested to her that the victim was not truthful and that the accused person never and did not have carnal knowledge of her. The witness responded saying she was not in the office and was only relaying what the victim told her. Mr. Bagoluru further suggested to the witness that on April 11, 2017, she went into the office of the accused person to apologize for lying against him. In her response, she told the court she apologized to the accused person because of the perception that she may have something against him, and that is why she is concocting lies against him and not because of what the victim said was a lie. Hearing of the case was adjourned to November 13, 2017 to enable the prosecution call 2 other witnesses. The accused person, however, is still on his former bail. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Now, 4 people have been arrested by the police in Kumasi for illegally dealing in ammunition. The 2 groups of suspects were arrested in separate instances on the Kumasi-Obuasi Highway and a hideout. Police say the first group was found to be selling ammunition, whilst the second involved blacksmiths arrested by the Regional Anti-Armed Robbery Squad for manufacturing locally made firearms for sale. Regional Police Public Relations Officer ASP Juliana Obeng addressed the media.
21st of October 2017 at about 1 p.m. a police patrol team from the Ashanti Regional Highway Patrol Unit on their usual patrols along the Kumasi-Obuasi Highway intercepted a private Toyota Corolla saloon car with registration number AS1108-17. A search conducted in the car revealed a white fertilizer sack containing an AK-47 assault rifle and 56 rounds of live ammunition plus 2 empty magazines. 2 persons, the driver and 1 other occupant on board the Toyota saloon car, namely Ibrahim Owusu Setre, 37 years, and and Abubakar Mahama, 40 years respectively, were immediately arrested to assist in investigation. During interrogation, suspect Abubakar Mahama claimed ownership of the weapon and ammunition and mentioned suspect Amadou Yakubu, who is 51 years and an Ivorian, as the source of the weapon and ammunition. He, however, indicated to police that he collected the weapon from one Amadou Yakubu from Nyamransa, which is near Cape Coast in the central region, to be sold here in Kumasi for a fee. That on Sunday, the 29th of October 2017 at about 1:30 p.m., suspect Amadou Yakubu, who had traveled to Kumasi to collect the proceeds from the sale of the weapon and ammunition, was subsequently arrested by the police to assist in investigations. Suspect Abubakar Mahama, after his arrest, also offered a bribe of 3,500 Ghana cedis to the police in order to be let off the hook, but the police declined. Both suspects, Abubakar Mahama and Amadou Yakubu, are all in police custody, assisting in investigations, and will be put before court for prosecution after investigations are over.
We're still staying in Kumasi because the Traditional Council has teamed up with the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly to relocate traders occupying pavements and unauthorized areas in the metropolis. The move is in line with an eviction notice served by the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council calling for vacation of such areas by next Monday. The arrangement also precedes the final funeral rites of the late Asantehema Efwa Kobe Sewa Ampem II. Nanaya Jima was at a meeting between representatives of Otumfuo Setu II, the Kumasi mayor, and transport operators.
The movement of traders at some parts of Edum, Kejetia, Pampaso and the zoo area is expected to start on Monday. They are to be assigned new spaces at the racecourse and Abinchi markets. Some traders have been pleading for an extension of time. They insist transport unions are made to join them at the newly designated areas. But in a closed-door meeting with city authorities and the Kumasi Traditional Council, authorities say they have agreed to move. The relocation has the endorsement of the Menshia Palace. Otumfuo's Maria Hine, Balfour Brentio Shiamine, says the evacuation will clear the central business district for the final funeral rites of the late Queen Mother of Ashanti.
Especially the route that will, pass through for the full rituals that we will do, starting from Pampaso to Menshia. We would want to make sure that all the passageways are free for us, to ride, with all our retinues and what have you. People will be coming down to Kumasi, and we need Kumasi to look as neat as possible. KMA has taken it upon itself to make sure that sanitation and all other things are well catered for.
Chief Executive of Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, Osei SB Entry, says the race course and Abinchi markets are ready to receive the traders.
KMA has taken it upon ourselves. We have prepared the place, and the place is far better than where they used to work now. The traders have visited the site, inspected the sites. The drivers too have also visited the site.
He reveals the evacuation will also pave way for the completion of the first phase of the Kumasi Central Market project.
We are not moving them because of the funeral. As has been discussed with them. The contractor is late by 6 good months. It has taken the contractor 6 months in having access to the roads. And it's a contract. He's also paying his workers. He has been on us. He has written as many as 6 letters demanding for the access of the place. And now, for how long can we hold on to his request without granting it?
Transport operators present at the meeting pledged their support for the exercise on Monday. Nanani Maku Bresiama spoke for the transport operators.
This is why we now confirm to see race course. Now,
if you should place a rickety vehicle at Kejetia and an aeroplane at race course, people will still go to Kejetia for various reasons. It is very true. So if the assembly is relocating us, they should ensure that we all move. It will fail if some continue to work at Kejetia.
Reporting for JoyNews, Nanaya Ojima.
A total of 45 LPG filling stations have been shut down in the last 2 weeks in an ongoing exercise by the National Petroleum Authority to ensure strict compliance with safety standards. Another 37 of the outlets found to have failed the safety standards are expected to be closed in the coming days. NPA Chief Executive Al-Hassan Tampoli disclosed this at the launch of the National Safety Campaign here in Accra, from where Matilda Vamaga filed this report.
The ongoing clampdown is largely driven by the recent gas explosion at Atomic Junction at Medina, which claimed 7 lives. Preliminary investigations point to failure by managers of the outlet to comply with the safety protocols. The NPA chief executive says of the 636 gas filling stations, only 141 are deemed to be fully compliant.
276 LPG refill stations have been inspected out of the 636 distributed across the country. 45 outlets remain closed due to non-compliance with some regulatory and technical requirements. 37 outlets have been marked for closure when the level of their stocks reduced to levels within the safety zone. 26 outlets have been reopened after a comprehensive inspection was carried out by the inspections and monitoring units of the authority.
The National Safety Campaign forms part of efforts to prevent accidents involving liquefied petroleum gas. The NPA believes vigorous and sustained public education is vital to address safety lapses.
NPA has intensified its monitoring and inspection activities in collaboration with other agencies, including the Ghana Fire Service, Environmental Protection Agency, Factories Inspectorate Department, and the Town and Country Department.
There have been growing agitations about the siting of fuel stations in residential areas, with some community members in some neighborhoods demanding their closure. But Deputy Minister for Energy, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, wants the NPA and the relevant MMDAs to be cautious in dealing with the matter, explaining that it will be unfair to ask such stations to relocate in cases where they were established before the area became built up.
Sometimes these installations are already there before we build our structures near them. And so in most cases, the consuming public and other users of land often disregard safety warnings and operate near petroleum installations or building structures close to such installations. They then turn around to request the NPA to close down such installations. This is not acceptable. To this end, I wish to call on the Land Use and Spatial Planning Authority and the Metropolitan, Municipal, and District Assemblies who plan our cities and issue building permits to people to take cognizance of this imperative and ensure that the safety of people in their jurisdictions become their utmost responsibility.
The NPA box explained there's currently an ongoing discussion with stakeholders on how to deal with these concerns and whether the stations will have to go or some houses in the vicinity will have to be demolished.
Well, it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge because now if you look at some of the existing stations, some of them have been there 20 years, over 20 years, 10 years, way before the residential accommodations came close to them. So you have to make a decision whether or not the people who just recently came should evacuate or those who have already been there should evacuate. That will be part of the remit of the risk assessors. And we're working very closely even before now. We call it the multi-stakeholder committee at the NPA, which consists of the Fire Service, EPA, Town and Country Planning, Ministry of Energy, Factories Inspectorate Department, and then the Ghana Standards Authority is also coming on board.
The NPA says it is also retraining all LPG tanker drivers and their mates and all others involved in the distribution of the product so they become fully aware of what is expected of them.
Before we go, the hopes of more than 1,000 ECG workers Well, on Tuesday, Dashtas and Accra High Court turned down their request for the ongoing implementation of the private sector participation in management of the ECG to be put on hold. The aggrieved workers last month demanded payment of redundancy packages, insisting they will become workers of a private company once the Millennium Challenge Compact is implemented. Government turned down their request, forcing the workers to resort to the court. But that's was also shot down on Tuesday as the application for interlocutory injunction was dismissed. The court said granting their request would lead to government suffering serious hardship. The substantive case on whether the workers deserve the package, however, remains before the court. All right, that's it for the AM News for now. We do have a lot more headlines when we look at what the newspapers are reporting and when we touch base with the online portals as well. But a very good friend of mine celebrated his birthday yesterday. Nana Jesse, I missed it yesterday, but that's why God has blessed us with another day. So belated birthday to you, Nana Jesse, who's with the Liberal Studies Department, the Koforidua Technical University. I thought I'll surprise you with this one. I know you love it, but you are also the world's greatest. So Nana Jesse, Liberal Studies Department, Koforidua Technical University, enjoy the world's greatest. After all, you are the world's greatest.